I mean, Mr. Dior has always been present in my mind throughout all the collections I have done up to now. But it was mostly through his idea of construction, because what you can see in the archives is obviously only women's wear. But what always fascinated me in the archives with dresses that they have is how amazingly they are constructed, these jackets and these dresses, sometimes more spectacular on the inside than on the outside. So my previous collections was always linked in a way to Mr. Dior like this, because obviously menswear, and especially at Dior Homme, is very much about construction. But this season I wanted to take it a little step further, because I wanted this collection to be much more about individuals, much more about a human, unique approach. And so there is nothing better than to just basically start also from a real person. So I looked at his habits of dressing up at Savile Row, having this made-to-measure clothes, and also him being so superstitious, believing that in the lucky star he found ones on the floor, believing in the lily of the valley. So it was a nice way to give it a very human and poetic approach. So that's why this season it was probably more obvious than other seasons. Well, I've made some incredible fashion films with Willy van der Peer. It's very important to me, because that's where the digital communication comes along. I mean, it's really a different way of communicating the same message. But then watching a show on the internet for 10 minutes or 15 minutes isn't maybe that interesting to everybody. So that's where fashion films come in, because then in a 2 or 3 minute video you create a universe, you create a character, and you tell the story you want to tell. So it's about having the right tools to communicate in the best way, but it's always about communicating the same message. So I think they're all very complementary. It's about always finding the right tool to bring the message out. And that's what also makes it interesting for me, because once the collections exist, I guess in a way that story is over for me. But then by working with artists, create a new story, that again makes it interesting, so yeah. At the helm of Dior Homme now for 7 years. So obviously things have evolved quite a lot. I'm very happy and very comfortable. I mean, for me it was really about repositioning the brand on a very luxurious direction, because that for me was the real positioning that a brand like Dior Homme needed. So it was much about concentrating on cut and on luxury, on beautiful detailing, on making the clothes also more comfortable, because comfort and elegance do go together. So the beginning of, I mean, the first seasons was much more about that, about almost like creating a blank page. That's where all the minimalism also came in, because it was not about the detail, it was not about embellishment, just getting the cut right, getting the comfort right, and getting the high-end position right. Now that all that is done, and it's been like this for a few seasons, doing whatever we've managed to do on the tailoring, also on the sportswear pieces. So now we're applying the same know-how on that, and the same demanding position. I mean, we do want to make it really luxurious and perfectly finished. So it's an ongoing process, but it's obvious that things started out with tailoring and now it's moving on to sportswear. It's like an ongoing improvement, I like to think.